Welcome to the Wooden Buck Podcast. We are your hosts, Paul from JCR Builds and Josh from Josh Taylor Woodworking. Today we have a very special guest on Moustache. How's it on
Matthew
Instagram?
Moustache.
Matthew
Uh, now,
Moustache.
now, now is Moustache Workshop.
Yeah,
I know, I
know.
see that.
Yeah, I noticed
Yeah,
No.
the name changed the other day. So yeah, nice to see you again, Matt. So just tell everyone who you are, where you're from, and yeah, that's just
yeah.
go for it.
My name is actually Mateusz Wąsik, which means in English Matthew Moustache. I'm coming from Poland, and I live in UK for 10 years so far. I really enjoy it, and I'm a carpenter and a joiner as a trade. Plus, I'm passionate about woodworking and mostly hand skills, old hand tools. And yeah, and this is mostly what I do. But because I've started my YouTube channel, then I start exploring out different, skills and trying myself in different trades. Like a blacksmithing, doing some restoration, this and that. And yeah, this is mostly what I'm doing. And I'm trying to, push myself, to the limits, if there is any.
The
But it is. I
woodworking
mean,
limit.
yeah. I mean, to be honest, I've actually recently Matthew did actually send me some drawings of one of his spoke shaves, which was a great YouTube video that he did. So that is a project that I've got up and coming. And as you say, that you've built your own forge, haven't you? And you're literally doing everything and making your own planes and your own
Yeah, yeah.
your
I
forge
build
and
it.
everything.
I just follow. The the story starts when I met the one Bulgarian. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
from Bulgaria. Yeah.
Bulgarian,
Anyway,
yeah.
uh, and I met him, and he was in a knife making. So yeah, I said yeah, come to my workshop. We're gonna build the first forge. We did it. We started doing something, and in that moment, I decided yeah, maybe I'm gonna give it a go and try it by myself. And this is how it started. Otherwise, I would never build even one knife. So it's good that I met this guy.
What's a
I bet,
forge?
Forge, you got kind of like a mixture of a concrete with or plaster of Paris with a special. I forget how it's called, but I
is
think
it
it's
perlite,
volcanic
isn't it?
ash or
Yeah,
something like that. You
perlite.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, perlite. Yeah, exactly. And you're just mixing together. You're just putting in a big can, leaving a hole inside. Then you're drilling a hole on the side, putting your burner or like a map gas, anything like that. You can heat it up the metal to harden it or either way forge it. And yeah, it's a simple, let's say simple thing, but you can do quite a lot with it.
Yeah, I,
Okay.
I don't think Josh quite gets. So a forge generally is for what a blacksmith would use. They heat up the metal generally to either bend or shape it. But also, if you were to do, say, a chisel and it wasn't hardened steel, it would just be like plasticine and it'll just snap and
Oh, yeah,
bend.
that thing that they use in the
Yep.
movies where they're
Yeah, thing they
yeah. I'm
use in the
with you.
movies. No, it's a real thing, Josh. People do use them. So basically, then, because if your plain blades, they're what they call tempered steel.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
when it's actually heat treated. So it makes it a lot harder. So this forge that Matthew made, it's made out of a big paint can. Effectively, it's like a
yeah,
portable, just a paint can. I mean, I've actually got
yep,
all the stuff to order. I'm going to build one this week, and it allows you just to use basically. It's like a DIY home built small forge, which
yeah,
it just opens up possibilities for what you can do. I mean, Josh, he says he makes knife. He's made the odd knife. We're not talking he's made some sort of fucking piece of cutlery. He's made these works of art. That they're
Yeah,
not just
really.
knives, they're works of art.
Yeah.
And he's using Damascus steel, which is all the pretty pattern stuff.
Yeah, I know
So it has a
Damascus steel.
pattern on the steel.
Let's link this forge in the show notes so people can have a look at it after
Yeah,
as
absolutely. Yeah,
well.
I'll
yeah.
put that in on the YouTube. I'll put the forge in as the forge YouTube
So
video.
why the change of name? How come you've pivoted, mate?
Well, that was when I started, it was just yeah, let's do it something. I put just my name and surname because
Yeah.
I was thinking it's
I did
catchy,
the
like a
same.
Matthew Moustache, yeah. And yeah, but even on the logo, yeah, you don't really know what I'm really doing. You see only, in the background, there's a tiny bit of wood and stuff on the old logo,
Oh
and you
yeah.
think like, oh yeah, maybe he's doing something with, with wood all this stuff. But actually, I'm doing quite a lot more of stuff. That means, I rebuilt my workshop from a point where it was just like a Sunday workshop, let's say, just to
And
jump
you've
in when you have
evolved.
a time and do it something to the workshop which I currently have. It's a massive difference. If you look on my first video, you would see everything is almost nothing is there, which I have right now. So it's a massive step forward, I think, and that's
Cool.
why I decided like added like a workshop. That
Yeah.
means, yeah, the guy is doing something in the workshop. In the background, now you have like a chisel and a blacksmith hammer. So
Yeah.
then it roughly give you idea of what I can do.
Where are you living in
That
the
was the
UK, mate?
idea.
Where you
Pardon?
living? Whereabouts are you in the UK?
Oh, I live in Medway Towns in Chatham.
Oh yeah, I know. I used to live in Medway. I used to go to school
All
there.
right.
um, so you rent a workshop, or is it in your garage, or?
No, it's actually in my back garden.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, I built it.
It's a
You
shed,
built
but it's
it.
not a shed. It's like it is a shed, isn't it? But it's a lot more than just a shed.
A shed
But
with
it
It
really good
yeah,
it
lighting.
looks
It looks like.
it looks more from the inside, but from the outside, you would say like oh yeah, some kind of storage or stuff.
it's a
So
shanty
I'm
town.
incognito, let's say, yeah. So no one is
Yeah.
see. Actually, from the outside, you won't tell. You won't tell.
No, but that's it with a small workshop because obviously I've seen lots of photos and stuff of your workshop and when we've spoken and what have you. And your workshop is super organized because you're in such a small space. You've got to make use of it. I mean, you have such an impressive. I remember you showed me the pictures of your hand plane collection. So we're talking about antique planes here. So
Yeah.
planes used to be made out of wood, Josh, right, with a metal blade. You won't believe this stuff.
I
Young
brought
lad.
one the other day, right? And I had to try. I had to teach myself to use it again. It'd been so many years. I was, how do I do this again?
Yeah, but you've got a really impressive on one of the. I don't know if you've still got it, but you used to have quite on one of the end walls as your backdrop. You used to have a really impressive plane collection, haven't you?
Yeah, it's like a well. What you can see is like maybe a fraction what I really own, because there's plenty or maybe hundreds still to restore. Because I'm pretty sure I have more than 300 planes,
Where do you
easy.
get the 300 planes from?
Well, mostly boot fairs and auction house
Ah,
and stuff like
okay.
this. Because if you're going on a boot fair and you're getting, like even Stanley number 4 for like a £3, it's like all right, I take it. £3, come on, you can get even a decent burger for such a price. So I'm taking whatever is £3. I'm taking it.
But say recently as well. I mean, your video that just came out, I think it was in the last week or it was
Last week,
the
yeah,
last
yeah,
one. Yeah, you've made a low angle block plate. I mean, it's such a beautiful piece of work. It
yeah,
really is. Is it? It's Paduke on the outside, isn't it?
yeah.
Is
It's
it?
Paduk, yeah.
Is it Sycamore in the middle? You did. Is it Sycamore or
No, no, no. It's a beach.
is it beach? I couldn't
Yeah,
quite
yeah,
tell because
yeah.
obviously once you put review on it, it changes the color. So
Yeah, I put it in the description usually because
I don't read the
I,
description.
I know no one does.
But I'll say that's it's a real work of art. That is. I mean, one of the other pieces you've made. I mean, you make a lot of stunning pieces. Because you did the spider not long ago for
Yeah,
which was Jason's. No, I always get. Is it little?
blooming
It's
woods,
little.
blooming good
Blooming
with
good
wood.
with woods. Is it little?
Yeah,
Is it little? It's little garage, isn't it? Workshop. I always get his.
yeah, yeah.
I always get his name mixed up with
Jason.
someone else. Yeah. No, I always get his company name mixed up with someone else. Little
Yeah,
garage workshop. That isn't it? Jason's. I speak.
yeah,
Jason's a good friend as well. And you made a spider, didn't you? With that, mate. You should
yeah,
see it, Josh. So he's got his legs coming out of it. Obviously, it's a spider, and they're all proper hand carved legs.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's absolutely phenomenal. And then the other nice piece, you did a toy chest, didn't you? Woody's from Toy
yeah,
Story.
yeah. Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
That was actually a collaboration with a guy from Sweden, the Awesome Restoration.
All right.
Yeah, he reached to me,
I've-
you know. In that time, he was like a 5 million subscribers and stuff, you know. And he reached to me like, "Can you build something for me?" I was like, "Heck yeah, man!"
all
Really?
right. I never
Yeah,
realised that was a collaboration at all. That would be good. I mean, I've watched the video.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I think I'd watched that before I actually met you last year.
yeah.
I was like, wow, that's like proper. I mean, it's just. I mean, it's not woodworking that at all. It's more like proper cabinetry. Do you know what I mean? Because it's such a
Yeah.
fine. I mean, I do think you're quite modest when you say you're just a woodworker. I think that's a bit modest, really.
Wow. It's
No, no.
it's the things that I'm just just doing, and sometimes I'm not realizing that I know how to do it, which is pretty weird because you're doing something for the first time and you're just like doing like every day. I don't know, a coffee. That easy,
Yeah,
and I'm like, how is possible that I know how to do it? But I'm just doing it.
yeah.
So,
I mean, the planes you make. I mean, they're quite. I mean, sort of people look at a plane and go, "Well, that's quite simple." It's effectively, it's a block with a blade in it. But it's
Yeah.
about you've got to get all the angles right, haven't you? And I mean, I've seen your
Well,
drawings. You've got to do quite a lot of. I suppose your drawings have to be quite accurate and learn how to draw properly. That's one thing I can't do.
I think it's pretty simple. I've got a, like I don't know how they call it, to be honest, but like proper drawing in a school. And my teacher was very fussy about the drawing, so I had to be really precise. Otherwise, I would fail. So I think this is where it's coming. Also, I started drawing when I was 6.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so it's like a 30 years of drawing. So that helps. That helps a lot.
So it's just come quite second nature to you then doing the. I mean, my drawings. I mean, Sam will tell you. Where Sam from Monkey Boy's workshop. I was getting some help for one of my pro chest of drawers I was doing, and I
Yeah.
sent him one of. Well, just tell me what it looks like. So I sent him a little drawing, and Sam was like, "Fuck me, as a 4-year-old drawn that because my drawing." But the thing is, though, I'll do a little sketch on a bit of and I mean, I'm talking like a real rough sketch, and I know exactly what it'll look like. But
Yeah.
at least your drawings, because I was just telling Josh, you sent me the spoke shave drawings, and I've got them
Yeah.
printed out off the drawing board up there, and they're just so precise. The proper drawings. I'm like, shit. When I make the spoke shave, it isn't going to look anything like your drawing.
That's the. Actually, I decide to finally start doing like a proper drawings before I'm doing something. In case if anyone want it, I can just like give it to someone. Because
Yeah,
normal, I'm just making drawing what I want to achieve. That's it.
yeah.
Like
But
an end product.
do you actually? So let me know I've had, and I shouldn't say this. 'Cause I probably there will be other drawings I want off you in the future. Don't get me wrong, but have you? Because quite a lot of woodworkers and stuff obviously sell the stuff, and we
Yeah.
notice you've got an Etsy shop. Do you not put them on like something on your Etsy or sell them? Because at the end of the day, it's a downloadable thing that you can print off, etc. That could actually get you revenue along as well as.
I was thinking about it, and I start some drawings. I even on some YouTube videos, some people demand that plans for a couple things, and I was like, yeah, they are in the making, but I'm making everything by hands, and I don't have, to be honest, let's say too much discipline. Let's say to myself, if I like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and then there's so many things to do in a workshop that I'm like, yeah, workshop winning, and. This is how it ended up. Like I've got almost done couple of the drawings, and still haven't finished them. So it's like a year in a back.
yeah.
Everything
Do you
just
have,
takes. Go on, Josh. Go on.
do you have a lot of projects running at once,
Well,
or not? Do you just do one at a time, or do you have?
I'm trying. I'm trying to do one at a time because I don't have too much time, and especially when I'm doing something for the YouTube, I'm limited with time. So I'm always trying to do it in one go. It's nothing like a fail is an option. No way.
Are
Always
you?
doing in one go.
you've got 20K subscribers on YouTube, which is pretty good. How did that come about? Was that gradually over time, or was it
Yeah,
like,
over time, over a long time.
oh,
You know,
really?
the funny story was like when I started was like oh, I was looking on a restoration video, so like oh, I can do that easy. You know, this guy got a millions of views on such a thing. I can do it same. Yeah, let's start it. Let's make money and everything. Subscribers. Then I started. I put the first video up, and like it's weak, and it's like 200 views, and I was like, what the heck? What's wrong? You know, I didn't
Yeah.
understand YouTube at all at that time. You know, so the first couple of videos was like a couple hundred views, and I was like, what I'm doing wrong? You know. And so after first year, I think I reached the 1K because it started escalating pretty quickly when I done the round table from a pallet wood.
Oh yeah, you've done like a
It just
segmented
yeah,
table, haven't you? Out of Hollywood, yeah.
it just catch like crazy. You know, in a first 2 weeks, I still didn't have that monetization and all the stuff. So I missed it like 200,000 views, which would give like I don't know 400 quid already. Then I joined, and it's like a 500,000 views on that video, and this video gave me like a 5,000 subscribers. That was like a whoa, what is going on?
Yeah,
That was nice.
Yeah. I mean, Matthew's also helped me on editing a few of my videos with the color grade. You know, as I've been trying to actually improve the quality of the standard, he's actually been helping me in the background as well on a couple of things, haven't you? With colors and color grading and all sorts. And it's just so much, as you say, it's just so much work. I mean, how you get out such of, you know, you do what you say, you do one project and you get them out. I don't know how you do that because, like, obviously, me and Josh, I mean, you've seen what you're up with, you know, we said just before we started the call with you, like, you know, so what projects you got on? Oh, I what haven't I got on at the minute? I've got like 10 things on the go because it's always something. I've got one that I'm doing that's probably going to take me about a year to finish because it's such a big, it's a model that I'm doing. So that is going to take probably the best part of a year. And then you've got all the little things, and then I've got all the little shorts I want to film for the next 2 weeks. They're all sat there lined up so I can hit them in one go. Oh, it's never ending, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty hard for me. Let's say I know the shorts can actually gain you a lot of subscribers and this and that, but to be honest, I don't have a time. I don't have more time to do. The content is there, yeah, because I recorded once. I can cut out, some nice joinery, doing this. Would be easy if I would have more time, but I don't, because I'm, in the past, let's say, 2 years ago, I was releasing every 2 weeks one video. Now I'm releasing sometimes even 2 months. This is crazy, but I also got a family, and you not always have a time, and try to squeeze everything, full-time job, family, then try to do something for yourself, plus doing the YouTube. Oh man, I would love to have a 36 hours instead of 24.
Yeah, I must admit, I mean, I try to stick to a 2-week schedule for long-form videos now, and it is hard. Even with, because I'm doing stuff that I'm particularly doing for YouTube, but I'm doing as a job. So I get the two things out of one. So it takes a bit long to film the process, but I'm getting paid for doing that piece anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But as you say, a 2-week schedule it is still hard when it's just you doing everything and you haven't got the cameraman and the editing person and everything.
Yeah.
You're wearing the cap of everything, aren't you? Doing what you're doing. And your videos
exactly.
stick out are high quality as well, which takes a lot of time.
Yeah, you have to be like a one-person crew in everything. Yeah, so it is hard. It is hard because in the past I was editing in 1 hour because my video were, let's say, easier, and I didn't know plenty of things about the filmmaking and doing this and that. So it was like in an hour, I could process like a 3 hours of a video into 16 minutes, the content. And now I'm sometimes spending like a 10, 20 hours on the editing only. And it's
Wow,
like a
that's a long time.
man, but well, what you can do, the YouTube changed so much that, it's harder and harder every few months. They're changing the policies, this, that, the people coming with a crazy ideas, plus the editing skills, or maybe they hiring, some other people. And what I noticed, people want straightforward action, like a few seconds only on each shot. Otherwise, they get bored. They get used to do that short video, like a TikTok.
Yeah.
Now the short and this is where people are more in, because it's like in a 15 minutes, yeah, you're gonna watch it. I don't know, like how many you can watch, like 40 different short videos instead of
Easy
one
100 or
long.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, So it's hard to, make the video to keep your eye on a video for all time. Otherwise, they just
Switch off.
start skipping, and the algorithm just like, saying like, oh, fuck you, yeah, you're not interested, you're not interesting people, yeah, and to beat the algorithm, it's like, I still didn't get that, so
Do you feel
don't
like
know how to do it.
do you feel like you've had to change your editing style over the years to adapt to that?
Yeah,
Like,
actually, because I'm doing everything from scratch, to be honest, and I didn't know much about filmmaking, doing anything of this, because everything I do right now, I'm doing it for the first time in my life. So it's like I didn't take any like side course or something like that. That like someone gonna teach me. I'm teaching everything by I'm learning everything by myself. That's the thing.
wow.
It is. So what of interesting projects have you got lined up coming up that you're starting on, or your next
Well,
sort of big things
to
you're
be
making, do you think?
to be honest, I don't know. I'm supposed to start pretty quickly something, but honestly, I don't know. But I mostly I'm trying to do the stuff that, let's say, I need for my home.
Yeah. So then
You're
you're
so
getting something out of it, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Because most of the furniture and the stuff that I've got in a home, I build it myself. So it's like instead of going and buying, I can build it, I can record it. There you
And then
go.
the
You know.
wife
So,
doesn't complain as much. You get
yeah, exactly. That's the
I'm
thing.
doing this for us, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you get to go
So,
in the workshop.
talking about that, Josh. How are you getting on with that table that you were doing?
Oh, that's still in the mix. I've got I still got to pick that up. That's
Is that
still
still like your mate's been flattened?
been flattened, and then I'm where I've just had so much other stuff going on. Yeah, still getting round to that.
He's been doing this
When did
table
you
for
start it?
about 8 months ago, I think.
Oh, yeah,
It was
6
before
months
Christmas, mate.
ago.
Before Christmas. All right. Which one?
Yeah, I spent a lot of money on it. To be fair, I spent probably about $1,000 in already, with just epoxy and timber and finishes and sanding and yeah, I'll get there.
It's 26 because I know.
Well, I'm
I've done the
moving
same.
house soon, so I need to like move to the house and then cut it down to the exact size I want for the kitchen, because I bought it for this kitchen, but it's too big if I'm moving to a smaller one. But we'll see. Yeah, it's coming.
You're just making shit up here, aren't you?
Well, I've kind of changed, like my instead of doing building on my social, I'm now like just testing out tools at the moment. That's the kind of thing, the route I've gone down for the minute. This is going all right. I keep getting sent a lot of tools to test out. Some shit ones, some good ones, but yeah. So I haven't really got any projects on at the moment. Well, I have, but just they're on hold.
Yeah, I say I can't talk with the table though, because I've done my tabletop. I need to resand and refinish it though, because I can still see a couple of router marks from when I flattened it.
What, you've still got that tabletop as well? You still
I've done the
doing that one?
tabletop, mate. It's finished.
Where
I've just not made the frame with the chairs yet. So all that timber's still sat in the fucking land. We've just been there for 18 months now.
Ooh.
But never mind, I'll get round to that. So what's your favourite wood to work with, Matthew? Because you use quite a bit of American black, and you've used
Yeah.
quite a bit of exotic woods, don't you? Like the Paducans. So what's your
Well,
sort of favourite?
my favorite is American black walnut.
I think that's
For
my
sure.
favourite.
For sure. That's obviously I just love the grain. I love the color. I love the smell of it. Love the working with it. You know, it's also the, on a second place I would put ash.
Hmm?
I just love ash, and when you glue together the black walnut and ash, oh, it's to be honest, you can't find anything better, in my opinion.
That's actually a good call because I was actually thinking of obviously seeing your low angle block plane because I've got a nice chunk of ash in me cupboard over there, and I was actually thinking black walnut and ash for doing a nice big plane
Yeah.
like that. So I think you've just cemented that for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I just made I don't know if you've seen them actually. I know you've seen my post. I made myself a router plane. So I bought the Pull Sellers kit.
Oh
So
yeah,
the
I think
Pull
I've seen it.
So I did black walnut, and then I done pattern plywood knobs. Well, I didn't. I did the pattern ply, and then I got Kate, crafty lass.
Yep.
So she turned the knobs for me. But yeah, that looks really cool. The black walnuts that I've done with the router plane. I'm never going to use the router plane. I remember seeing it on one of my friend's socials. I thought, oh, that looks really cool to make that. And I really enjoyed making that little plane. So it's just going to sit on the wall next to the wooden work mallet up there for show.
Why are you not going to use it?
I'll just use it. I'm just going to use one of my Festool routers, mate. It's easier.
All right. You're a more power tool guy.
Yeah, I probably will end up using it for something. Don't get me wrong, but no, I really enjoyed making it, and that's probably what made me think a bit more about making, one of the planes. And then I saw the low angle the other day that you did. I was like, ooh, yeah, I did quite like walnut and ash. And in fact, that's what we did our mallets we made, Josh.
Yeah.
That's black walnut and ash, but we had the walnut handles and the walnut center, and then the ash on the outside.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Looks really smart. Yeah, I can't think. Yeah, planes. So with your block planes, I mean, I know on your most recent one you used a Veritas blade. Why didn't you make your own blade? Because you make your own blades a lot of the time for your knives and other stuff.
Well, I just didn't have let's say, the wide material enough. I just look in my shelf, and there was like that Veritas blade, which I bought in Axminster actually a couple of years ago, because it was priced down from 30 something or 40 something to £8. I was like,
Wow.
I'm taking it. Yeah. And it was sitting on a shelf for like at least 2 years, and I decided to build that low angle hand plane. And I was like, oh, this one's gonna be perfect. So that's why I use it.
Do you ever sell your planes? Because you make a lot of nice stuff.
This is the first one actually I built, because not the first. The first one was Stanley number 1. That was the replica, but in a wood, of course, black walnut and oak to be a little bit sturdy. So that's the approach for making it in a brass.
Yeah,
really.
Because I need to make like use that petrol bond and stuff. One of my friends, he got all of this stuff, Dave G Design, and I need to meet him, and we're gonna start casting that. I just want to have nice and bronze one, because I can't afford like a $2.5 grand just to buy number 1.
$2.5 grand for what?
Yeah, something like that.
What is it called?
Stanley number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh doesn't believe these sort of things. Like, even a Veritas one. I mean, I was going to buy a Veritas block plane, but even a little block plane, low angle block, they're like £300, £300.
Yeah.
800 on Etsy. What the hell?
Yeah. And they are cheap planes anyway.
Why is that so much money?
Because you can't find them too many,
Yeah.
They're just rare now, aren't they?
Yeah, they build them only for the short times, and lots of old hand tools, they ended up in a skip because people buy houses, they're going to the shed, and they see lots of tools, but they don't know the value. They're just skipping it.
I saw. Where was the I
Oh,
saw a post on Instagram the other day. I can't even what plane it. It was a number. No, it was on Facebook. Sorry, there was a number 7 plane. I don't know what make it was, and they were like, if you get one of these, you're in luck. 13 grand. It's
What do you
worth.
mean number 7? What's all these numbers? You talking about just Stanley?
No, all planes, mate.
Right.
Here you go,
What's
Matt. Do you want to explain the different plane
there
types?
we
Because
go.
you're more of
Let's
a
do
plane.
that.
Do you want
Yeah,
to?
let's
Do you want to
delve into
explain?
that.
Yeah. Do you want to explain what the numbers mean to a plane and also the types of planes, people? Seeing that you're pretty much a plane expert.
Well, I'm not I wouldn't say I'm the biggest expert, but well,
You know
the
more than
numbers
Josh.
sort of well, till number 4, they are more like a smoothing plane, so they are shorter. So let's say number 4, I think it's a 2-inch blade only on the width, and it's smaller when you just starting with the surface. But if you want to, let's say, make instead of let's say using jointer like you know planer, then you can use number, let's say 7 or 8, which is much, let's say, I can't
Yeah.
even show you here, which they are longer. So the long
The long
that give you
surface.
the long base, so you can make a nice and straight surface. Let's say if you're flattening the table, if you're gonna
Okay.
take the big one, it's gonna be nice and smooth all the way. If you're gonna take a small one, it's still gonna drifting over all the bumps, and it's much harder. So the bigger they're calling I think jointer or foreplane or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm not the best on explaining that because well, I owning them, I know where to use them, but to explain everything, like I wasn't prepared. Yeah, let's
so
say.
all right.
Yeah, I've got the Google definition here. Number
Basically, a
one
number four,
size hand planes.
I say number 4 is like the one that most people would see on a
Yep.
shelf in a hardware store. That is your most popular size plane. Is a number 4, and then the higher the number, as in 7 or 8, the longer the bed is. So it gives you, as Matthew was saying, that if you're trying to do so rather than surfacing with the surface bit, you'd use a number 7 because it makes it a lot more accurate. The lower the number, so a 1 or a 2, is a lot shorter, basically. And then obviously you can have like 4.5s or 5.5s because then, so a 4.5 is not as wide as a 5, but it's a little bit wider than a 4.
Yeah.
And then you can have so a normal plane angle. Is a normal plane angle? Is it 42 degrees for a normal plane angle? I think
For
the
the
pitch of the blade. I
for
think
the
it's
normal one.
yeah. Can't remember what the pitch of the blade is.
Well, I think there's 40 something degrees. Plus,
Yeah.
plus the blade is going. The bevel the bevel is bevel up, so it's hitting on a different angle. Plus
Yeah.
the low angle, you got the bevel down,
Yeah.
which makes a difference. Well, it's pretty a lot of science behind it. Let's say, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, a low angle. So if you've got a normal blade, it'll be sat sort of, or not point. So the tip of the blade is pointing down. It's a 42-degree angle, but obviously you have it backwards, so you have a secondary bevel. If you have a low angle, it's the blade is a lot lower to the back edge of the back edge of the blade is lower to the desk or the base of the plane. And I think a low angle is normally about 11%. I think something around that figure. So
Something like that. I think on my one there was like a 13.
yeah,
I think it was like a 13 degrees, something like that.
yeah. I mean, it does. So a low angle is basically for a lot finer. So if you want to take off a very like even thinner bit, shaving, you would use a low angle. Hypothetically, not always the case, but that's the general consensus.
Okay, so these numbers range from 1 to 8, and Stanley, are these guys the leaders of planes, I guess, or not?
No, they
No.
are the most original manufacturer of planes in the UK.
Is that where Stanley started as a tool brand? Do you think?
Yeah, hand tools.
Yeah. Okay.
Stanley's always been a hand tool, and Stanley generally these days it's more of a DIY. Would you say in today's market,
Yeah.
it's more of a DIY entry level point. So I mean, there's all sorts of good brands of planes. I mean, there's Veritas. You've got Lee Nielsen. Lee Nielsen are probably one of the top
Yeah.
brands, would you say? I mean, there's loads of different brands. Isn't there? What would you
Yeah.
say was your most
Clifton.
premium? Clifton, they're another good brand, aren't they?
Yeah.
But then, why are we referring to these numbers? Is that for all planes or just Stanley's planes?
I think that this is like you know, they put the
Universal.
numbers on and everyone is using it because well, it's like you can't change the history. I would say, and everyone gets used to that to those numbers, and everyone is just follow them.
Yeah, I think because they were the most original, weren't they? That brought it onto the market because obviously planes used to be made out of a wooden block with their blades stuck in it, which are what the Japanese planes very much still look like in today's
Yeah.
market. So when they started casting them into metal, Stanley were the first people, I believe. And as you just said, they gave you the numbers, didn't they? They said, well, this is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3. And then everyone just basically copied Stanley.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are the original. I believe they were the very first original people to cast the planes as a hand tool. I think Irwin with the second company, Irwin, which these days you tend to see Irwin clamps, don't you? The quick ratchet clamps.
Yeah.
And the blue and yellow handled chisels, which are made of Chinese plasticine.
I've been using them for years. Mate.
Have you? They are plasticine, mate. Oh my god.
Well, I don't use them anymore. But actually, I brought one the other day.
The shit. The disposable.
They're all right if you're
The
on
shit.
site and you're hitting a bit of framing. It's all right.
The shit.
Most of my chisels they are older than my father, or even my grandfather. So yeah.
Well, that's it. Because I mean, we talk about in the UK because what they call marples. They're one of the predominant, the yellowish and red handled chisels that you see. So even though today's marples have got the same coloured handle, they're made out of a soft steel, Sheffield steel. So if you can find a marples with Sheffield steel on it, you're in the money. They're worth like 40, 50 quid a piece for each chisel. They're real because they're really hard. I've got a chisel here, mate. One of the original Sheffield. I mean, honestly, I was a bit naughty and I ground it down and turned it into a dovetail chisel. And I've had that chisel, mate, since I was doing my apprenticeship 25 years ago. And it's still brilliant when it's sharp, obviously. It's really good. I mean, I use Narex as a day-to-day chisel now.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I use Narex as my sort of go-to. But yeah, chisels are, as a whole, I mean, I'd love some. Do you have many Japanese chisels, Matthew?
I've got only one which I bought long time ago. But it was also a proper old, not like a brand new stock. It was some old vintage one. So I've got that one. It's a nightmare to sharpen it. I'm spending hours sometimes to make it super, sharp because the steel is so hard. I even cut my fingers on the other side, not touching the blade. When you're flattening the back, when you're holding it, and I once I cut my finger all the way through, almost in the bone, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even touch the blade, only the side of a chisel. Yeah.
What's your favourite sort of method for sharpening chisels? And do you like to do? What do you use? Do you use stones or carbide blades, or do you use like a Tormek, or what's your preferred method?
I don't own Tormek. I wish to have like a Tormek, but I'm using like a cheap. I think it's Shepard or something like that. I bought it a long time ago. It looked like a Tormek, but it's got a shit power. But it's doing the job.
Shipap or whatever they're called. Shipapi, they're a German firm, aren't they?
Yeah.
Shipapi or Shipipu or something like that. Yeah, the German.
Shipipu.
Blue. They're blue, aren't they? the ship app or whatever they're called.
Yeah, but mostly I'm using it only when I'm regrinding the chisel.
Yeah.
Then you can, I'm using just a stones and just a quick sharpen and then finish it on a strop, like a leather strop. That's it. They are sharp as hell.
Are you
don't
using
judge me, but I use an orbital sander.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Honestly, and it actually works pretty good.
Do you know, Matthew? Every week I learn, because I've known Josh for about, I don't know, 8 or 9 months now, something like that. And every week I'm learning something about his joinery skills, which is I wasn't his friend anymore.
Everyone's got to start somewhere, ain't they?
I know, but come on.
Just try it. You try it. If you got some old chisel that you don't really care about, you need a quick sharpen, bit of 120 on there, put that orbital on, just a little rest on the top, and then whoof. Mate,
So I bet you then Josh probably does. I bet you Josh doesn't even know about primary and secondary bevels, then, does he?
What was that? Priming secondary bevel?
Primary and secondary bevels on a blade.
No, I never went to carpentry school. I just kind of winged it. this is my education.
Yeah, so this is
Well,
Josh's. The podcast is now Josh's education. That's so that's
if
worrying.
it works, it works. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't encourage him.
Exactly. If it works, it works.
Well, I must admit, I do say if it works, it isn't stupid. Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
To a point.
Give it a try. You come
mate,
back
honestly.
on and you'll say, actually, mate, do you know what? That orbital trick was pretty good.
You do know that when you go to find his page in a bit, it would have blocked you.
Hi, what are you doing?
Well, I think Josh has just got a visitor from the bedroom.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello, mate.
Hiya.
Yeah, Josh. It's obviously Josh is in Australia, so it is bedtime for his little children as we record.
Oh, all right.
So I think it's what their night. So it's about 9 p.m.
Oh,
in Australia
really?
because he's
Sorry about that.
All right. Yeah, so that's why we record at this time of day, because it's trying to get the best of not taking up all of UK's, so we don't lose our entire Saturday.
He's pissed
And
to
also
bed.
for Josh for bedtime, so he gets out of putting the kids to bed.
Yeah. Right, should we wrap that up now?
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. As normal, everyone, I will link all of Matthew's social medias, his YouTube page, etc. And also I will link the Forge video and a couple of other videos direct as well, which we have spoke about in this particular episode. Yeah, as normal, any questions for any of us, you can contact myself or Josh direct on our social media pages. You can also contact us via the Wood and Work page. We are on all Audible platforms as well as YouTube. So, yeah, thanks very much for joining us today, Matthew. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thanks for having me.
No, you're welcome. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.